In this video, we're going to cover why it's important for youth athletes to learn about sports psychology. Now, hello there. My name is Brian McSparron. I'm a mental sports performance coach, and I'm also the owner of Superior Sports Psyche. And I specialize in developing the athlete's mental mindset so they can take their game to another level by understanding and teaching them about the mental game of sport. Now, one of the myths about sports psychology is that it's not important for them to learn at the youth levels, and that it's mostly good for older and more advanced athletes. Well, I'm here to tell you that that reasoning is totally false. And in fact, I believe that it's more important that youth athletes learn the skills of the mental game early, so it will help them in their long run of their sports journey. Now, sports by its nature is stressful. It might seem like fun, but the reality for many athletes is that youth sports is a tremendous weight being placed on their shoulders. Now, as adults, we have a fully developed brain, and we have the capacity to make rational judgments. But what happens to you when you are dealing with stress? Let's just take, for example, your job. How do you feel when stress of your job comes onto you? How do you act? Okay? How do you question yourself when you're starting to exhibit stress and you're not performing well in your job? Well, the same thing is happening with kids in sports, but the difference is they are in the developing stages of their lives, and many struggle to find ways to handle and cope with the pressures of their sport. And as a result, in the long run, this could have major effects of their overall mental health and well-being. Now, some stresses that a youth athlete might internalize would be questions related to, like, what does my coach really think of me? Well, what if I make a mistake? Will I be benched? Or will my team think that I let them down? Will my parents be mad at me if I don't win because they're paying for me to play in this game? Or am I really good enough to play on this team? See, youth athletes will question their abilities, and they will often compare and judge themselves to others. Now, this cycle can be detrimental to a youth athlete who is struggling to find themselves, and as a result, these athletes will tend not to find enjoyment in their sport, and they will eventually quit. Now, if we want our athletes to have success in sport, and I equate success to enjoyment, because if an athlete is not having fun, their journey in sports will be limited. Now, if sport is not fun, well, they will not be committed or motivated to becoming a better athlete. If sport is not fun, they will struggle to find confidence in their game. If sport is not fun, then anxiety, fear, self-doubt will overtake their performance. Now, do you believe an athlete can play well if they are holding on to fear, anxiety, and self-doubt? Well, the answer is obviously no. So, is your athlete carrying mental bricks when they compete? Now, the issues above there have nothing to do with the physical part of sport. Your athlete can hit the ball, they can shoot the ball, they can dribble the ball. They can do all the physical parts of their sport because our bodies are programmed to do physical things. But what holds an athlete back from taking their physical skills to the next level is the mental part of the sport, because they don't know how to overcome those feelings of anxiety, fear, or self-doubt. Now, working with a person or a coach who specializes in the mental game of sport like myself, we can teach athletes skills and techniques on how to manage their thoughts and emotions in a productive way when those mental game issues tend to pop up. Now, when athletes don't allow negative thoughts and emotions to affect their performance, then they are able to go out there and compete calmly, freely, and confidently. Now, take a moment. Take a moment and think, how would your athlete feel if they were able to compete calmly, freely, and confidently in their game? Do you think their performance would increase, knowing that they can't control what other people think? Would they be able to perform better because they've learned tools on how to manage their emotions after they made a mistake? Would they be free to play because instead of having expectations, now they're working on achieving a goal? Now, if you answered yes to each of these questions, do you believe your athlete would have more enjoyment in their game? Therefore, would they be more committed to their training and their development? This is why it's so important for youth athletes to understand the importance of the mental game as it relates to their development. So if your athlete has aspirations of playing for their local club team, or becoming a starter for their high school varsity team, or possibly competing at the collegiate level, or maybe even beyond that, then getting them to learn about the mental game early would be extremely beneficial to their development. Now, if you are interested in learning more about the mental game topics in sport, please like and subscribe to my channel so you can stay updated when I post new videos. Also, if you are interested in learning how I can help your athlete, all my coaching sessions are performed on Zoom. So no matter where you live, I can support, teach, and coach your athletes. Now my email is listed in the description below, so email me and we'll set up a free Zoom consultation so I can learn more about your athletes. Also, check out my Linktree profile where you can gain some free resources that I have listed there about the mental game. Now, the message from this video today is I wanted you to learn and understand that youth athletes who are able to learn and manage their mental game early in their development will have a positive long-term sports journey filled with success and enjoyment.